In this video, I'm going to show you what happens right after a dog gets dropped off for their board and train program. This is Kobe. He's almost 3 years old. He's a stuffy, an Australian kettle dog mix. He's 70 pounds of love. He hasn't had any professional training before, but his owners have been working with him since he was 3 months old now. Kobe doesn't have any aggression issues, but he'll bark and lunge at other dogs, cats, and pretty much any moving thing in the environment. So he's here to work on all these things and more. So what I'm doing is just really very gentle leash pressure, because I want him to move towards or lean towards the pressure. So to do that, I always have to find the opposite direction from where he naturally would want to go, and then I can apply a little bit of pressure, and the pressure goes away as soon as he leans into it or move towards it. Eventually this is going to shape up into creating or nurturing his peg drive and follow mode, but for now it's just going to be our very first, very basic communication system. When the pressure communicates something to him, the direction of the pressure tells him which way he should move his body, and then the release of the pressure is the reward itself. And then at one point I'm going to pair it with a verbal good as soon as he turns it off. Good, good boy. Keeping it super calm because he's excited, he's jumpy, and I do not want him to jump on me because he's heavy, he's big, he's strong, he has claws, and no matter how cute he is and how his intentions are not, he's not meaning to harm. How do you say that? So even though his intentions are more like coming from being anxious and he just wants to figure out like what my role is, what his role is here, who's calling the shots, and he's super friendly, I still do not want to start a relationship in a way where I allow him to be rude to me or disrespect my personal space and boundaries. So that's something that every dog learns from the moment I have the leash on them and they are brought into the backyard from the owners. So pressure. Good. There you go. And that was the release. So the first couple of minutes or even 15 minutes is really about just the gentle leash pressure work. With him I can start marking it with a verbal good. Good, good boy. I'm really trying to feel how much pressure he needs to actually pay attention. It always changes, but it's a very good baseline. It is also helping him kind of calm down a little bit, settle. His anxiousness is going to go down or go away at one point. Obviously everything is new for him, so all the scents and everything is super exciting. Good boy. But for now he already sniffed about like 10 minutes. He used the bathroom, he peed, he pooped. Good. And now we just work on his leash skills. He's already pulling through his prong collar, so he's not really paying attention to that kind of sensation. So that's why I switched to slip leash. I'm not going to choke him. The slip leash is, if you can see it, the slip leash sits on the lower side of his neck, so it's a stronger part of his neck. So he's not going to choke himself, and I'm not going to let him do that because I'm gonna make sure to figure out which direction I need to hold the leash or which angle I need to hold the leash in order for him to understand that he needs to lean into, he needs to turn off the pressure. So now he's settling we're just doing nothing. I want to eventually stop the sniffing. Not that anything is wrong with the sniffing, but it's a very different mindset from when he's actually focusing on me or his handler and like following me. So that's how I get him into more like a follow mode. As you can see, he started naturally following me. When I change directions, he's more, good boy, he's more responsive even when I'm not using leash pressure. Good job, very good job. So those are awesome signs. He's an awesome dog. He wants to do his best. No pets yet. That was a no from him. So we are just going to respect each other's space. So I'm not going to force any touchy-feely things on him. Just the same way I didn't want him to jump on me and start a relationship that way. So mutual respect, showing it towards each other. That's a super important part of the whole picture. So now that he stopped sniffing, he's kind of more settled, and it's also super hot. We are ready to go inside, and we are going to do some kennel work, getting him in and out of the kennel, and just really get him used to being in that same room. I'm going to stay with him for a while. I'm going to, organize his stuff, putting his food away, and he's gonna have some time to settle while I'm also in the room. And then once we get that, I can leave him, and I'm gonna close the dog's room door. I'm going to check him on the camera to make sure that he's actually settling and he can start the process of decompression. And so today's work is not going to be super busy, full of do this, do that, don't do this, don't do that. What you just saw, leash pressure, that's going to happen every single time he comes outside to potty. And then in and out of the crate also is going to be a practice every single time. Doorways, same thing. I don't want him to rush through any doorways when I open the door or gate, or even that place bed. I don't want him, just because he sees an open path or an open way, he would think like, oh, let's just run through it. No, we're going to wait for me. We're going to move together. So this togetherness is what I'm going to nurture today, and probably for the next couple of days. I really love that he's giving me eye contact. I don't teach this to dogs. It happens naturally. So he's kind of wanting the feedback. And when I went to, wow, good job. Look at that. Speaking of settling. So, and when I went to see them in person, we did the meet and greet. That was one of the things that stood out to me, how much he wants his owner's feedback. He constantly checked in with him. It seemed like from the outside, it could seem like he didn't listen, because he was sent to his bed and then he popped up. He was told to lay down and then he got up. But, that's a different thing. I'm not looking for the level of obedience. I'm looking for the connection, like how much the dog already wants to work with the owner, how much the dog already wants to understand the owner, and then we can build on that. And what I've seen, or what I saw, is like perfect, amazing. I love it. He really wants to figure out what to do, what not to do. He really wants to do the right thing. And we're gonna teach him how to make better choices in areas that are not very convenient. Come, let's go to the shade. They're not very convenient for city life, such as trying to chase cats and barking and lunging at other dogs. Obviously, we're going to work on those things, and then his owners are also going to learn how to make sure that he's in a right state of mind before they leave the house, on the walk, after they left the house. We're going to talk about during his stay how to play with him and how to incorporate some structure, reinforcing boundaries and rules into play, but also play in a way that's actually fulfilling for him. So once we satiated his drive, his kind of like urge or desire to chase and catch and shake the hell out of things that are moving fast, that we are going to kind of do throughout the play, So he's also going to learn that this kind of fulfillment is coming from his owner, his humans, instead of going out and trying to chase things that probably never happens because he's always on a leash because they live in a city. So yeah, a lot of work ahead of us. He's gonna be here for 5 weeks, and yeah, follow us and follow his journey. Okay, bye.